Are you thinking about homeschooling?
Well, make sure you do this first. Hi, I'm Dee Dee.
And I'm Jimena, and we are the Chips and Salsa ladies, bringing you some biblical truth and practical tips to empower you on your homeschool journey.
If you're new to our channel, welcome. We would love for you to be part of our community. And we want you to leave here feeling empowered and encouraged, and also with some practical tips to apply to your homeschool.
If you want to be a part of our community, go ahead and subscribe to this channel and join us on social media. All our links are down below in the description, and we also have timestamps.
We want to keep this short and simple because we know that you are a busy homeschool mom.
Well, by the end of this video, you are going to learn one crucial step that you simply must take if you're going to enjoy your homeschool journey. We want it to be enriching and fulfilling for you, and you have to do this first.
Well, when we started homeschooling, we didn't really realize how many preconceived ideas we had about educating our kids.
Yeah, both of us went to traditional school, and even though our educational paths looked very different, we still had all that indoctrination in our minds, because let's call it what it is. It is indoctrination because it has to do with what our society determined that education was at some point.
Yes, and we got to remember, we're not just brainwashed by our own experience, but TV and movies kind of tell us what school is supposed to look like.
Yeah, and if your kids are also coming out of public school or traditional school and you decided to homeschool them, they're also indoctrinated, and they also have these preconceived ideas of what school needs to look like.
Most of us struggle with some fears and insecurities about homeschooling in the early years, but you know what? We kind of struggle throughout the journey, wondering, are we doing enough? Are our kids at the place where they're supposed to be for their age? There's so many doubts and questions that can come up.
Yeah, a lot of fears and insecurities, and all of this comes because of these preconceived ideas.
But God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and love and a sound mind.
Yes, and the devil wants to rob that from us.
Yes, he wants to steal our joy.
Yeah, and our peace, because then we're up at night. I mean, I'm guilty of it, guys. Our kids are in high school, and now we have a little bit of hindsight. We never call ourselves experts because we're not. That's not why we have this channel. We have it because we want to come around each other to feel empowered, because we know the impact that homeschooling can make on this world. But the truth is that fear can really cripple our journey and our motherhood just in general. So we want to tell you one step that you need to take before you homeschool.
Deschooling.
Deschooling. What does that mean?
What's deschooling?
Well, it's the opposite of schooling, right? So when my kids were going to traditional school, they would come back home, and I felt like I had to de-school them from what they learned that I did not want them to learn.
Yes.
Things that their teachers told them or that their friends told them. I was like, a lot of undoing. And that's hard work.
Yes. So deschooling is the process of changing our minds and our mindset about what education is and what it should look like in our homeschools.
So we've always said from the beginning, and even from the beginning of this channel, that we need to savor every messy moment, right? And the journey is messy. Why? Because we're figuring it out all the time. And so we are not the same people that we were when we started homeschooling.
No.
I know, I'm very different. And now that our kids are in high school, I'm like barely, I feel, starting to really de-school.
Well, I don't think I really even knew the term deschooling when I first started. So this is kind of new and revolutionary to us as well. Although I realize we've deschooled
as we go
here and there because the Holy Spirit is leading us.
Yeah, and because we didn't want to recreate school at home, we wanted to do our own thing. So we have, done things not traditionally. But there's always that little voice, in the back of our mind of, are they ready? Are you really preparing them? Are you failing them? So I feel like now, and it's honestly also because I think we're in our 40s. I don't know. Like we're a little bit more confident of who we are as parents, and also that the Lord is really behind us in this mothering journey. But now that we have hindsight, we want to tell you and give you some tips so that you don't have to figure it out all on your own, and also so that you can be a little bit ahead of the game.
We want to help you in this process of deschooling so that you won't make some of the mistakes that we made.
Yeah, and it's never too late.
So, Jimena, how do we de-school?
Well, kind of like we started, reading books, right?
Yeah.
So we have a list of suggested books in the description below because these books really helped shift our minds into what education should really look like for each of us.
We started our homeschool journey reading the book by Susan Wise Bauer, The Well-Trained Mind, and man, not a de-school book, more like a rigorous book, and that really kind of set the stage for we need to hit all of these things.
Yeah, it was like drinking from a fire hose.
Yeah.
But oddly enough, we got to hear her at one of our homeschool conferences. And she's really relaxed, guys.
She's amazing.
She was like actually very unschooly, and so it was confusing.
Yes, but that's one of our tips about deschooling is not only books, but podcasts and conferences can really give you perspective from a wide variety of homeschoolers.
Yeah, but we really suggest that you start with unschooling, unlike what we did, which was starting with classical.
Yes.
Because if you start with unschooling, you're going to go with the least traditional, least conventional way of educating your child, and then you can build from there. You don't have to do anything by the book. If you haven't checked out our homeschooling styles video, check it out, because we are eclectic and you can also be eclectic in your approach. But if you start with unschooling books and unschooling podcasts, that's going to definitely accelerate your deschooling process.
Currently, while we're videoing this, it's 2022 and we are working on a homeschool course. And this is going to be a big part of it because deschooling will change your mindset for the whole homeschool journey.
Yeah, so stay tuned for that because we're going to walk you through even deeper steps, really getting your mind in that deschooling process.
The second step to deschooling is talk to other homeschool moms. So you're starting off great by watching this video.
Yeah, and there are some great Facebook groups out there, and I bounce ideas off of other homeschool moms all the time. Homeschool moms are just the best. They're so willing to help, and they want everybody to thrive in their homeschool journey. So it's really important that you find community either in person or Facebook groups.
We also have one-on-one consulting that's available, which you can find out more in the description below.
Step 3 is talk to teachers that you know and love and trust. I know that a lot of people in my husband's family, they're in the education system, they're teachers. And you know what my brother-in-law told me the other day? That he doesn't teach to the standards. That he believes that the education system is outdated. And my nephew said the same thing. He even has a podcast called Innovative Pedagogy where he talks about out-of-the-box ideas for education.
Yes!
So there are a lot of teachers out there in the education system that don't believe in the education system, but they're in it because they love the kids and they're passionate about, education. So if they're not worried about the standards, why should we be worried about their standards?
Good point.
Yeah. So definitely talking to them will ease your mind, or maybe not. Talking to them might get you a little bit more, tense. So make sure you really trust them and that you can really have a good, honest conversation with them.
Step 4, which we love, is talking to adults who were homeschooled as students. This is always amazing because so many of them turned out so great. So it's great to hear that it works.
Yeah, that's our biggest fear as homeschool moms is, are we going to mess them up? Are we going to, rob any opportunities from them? And when you get to meet all these amazing homeschoolers, we know some that are like rappers, some that are pastors, some that are
homeschool moms.
Yeah. And others that are like professors, creative writing professors at universities. So I think they do well.
Yes, it's encouraging, and you can glean some wisdom from their experience.
And number 5, after you've done all this, now you can determine for yourself what education means for your family and why you're homeschooling. So you really want to figure out, why am I homeschooling? What's the main reason? And what does education mean for our family?
And we really believe that each family has a style and a way to homeschool that's going to be the best, that's going to help your kids be lifelong learners, which is all of our goal.
That's right. And honestly, you can do it. You have been anointed and called for this time to homeschool. And if that's you, know that you're going to be empowered every day through the Holy Spirit. 2 Corinthians says that God has made us competent to be ministers of this new covenant, of this gospel that we live by. Not of the letter, because the letter kills, right? But of the Spirit, which gives life. And if we're living by the letter of what the state says that should be done to our kids, that's going to kill our joy. And it's going to kill our dreams maybe that we have. But if we follow the Spirit and we follow what He has envisioned for us and for our family, you can rest assured that you are going to thrive and have a homeschool that's full of life.
We hope that this video has empowered and encouraged you, that you can homeschool the way you envision and enjoy the journey.
Yes, let us know in the comments below if this encouraged you, if you are a new homeschooler, or maybe you are a veteran homeschooler who wants to join us in encouraging other homeschool moms. Do so in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video.
We'll see you in the next one.
Bye.